Planets without water, only CO2. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Turns out some exoplanets might be made entirely of dry ice, creating an otherworldly frozen landscape slowly. These CO2-rich worlds could be orbiting distant stars, with temperatures so cold that CO2 freezes into dry ice. Imagine walking on a distant planet where snow isn't white, but made of frozen carbon dioxide, creating an otherworldly landscape under a dim red-orange sky, with a crisp, cold atmosphere. On such distant planets, the atmosphere would be thick with CO2, making it extremely difficult for liquid water to exist, creating barren landscapes devoid of life as we know it presently. CO2 planets could be the opposite of Earth, where abundant water exists and CO2 is merely a trace gas, creating a fascinating atmospheric contrast naturally always. Some scientists think these planets might be very common in the universe, especially around cooler stars that are much smaller and less luminous than our own sun typically. The surface of a CO2 planet could be covered in massive glaciers, but they'd be made of dry ice, not water ice, creating a surreal frozen landscape with unique atmospheric conditions. If you were on a CO2 planet, the snowflakes falling from the sky would be tiny dry ice particles. The idea of CO2 planets significantly challenges our fundamental assumption that water is essential for life, as it sparks intriguing debates among scientists and theorists alike nowadays. These planets might be too cold for life as we know it today, but who knows what weird exotic forms life could possibly take in their frozen, distant environment somehow? On a CO2 planet, the air would be extremely toxic to humans due to high carbon dioxide levels, and the atmospheric pressure could be extreme, making survival nearly impossible there. The geology of a CO2 planet would be fascinating, with landforms shaped by dry ice erosion. CO2 planets could have dry ice rain and dry ice lakes, creating a completely alien landscape with frozen carbon dioxide formations and surreal environmental conditions always. Some exoplanets are thought to be CO2-rich due to their proximity to their star and lack of water. The atmosphere on a CO2 planet would be very different from Earth's atmosphere, with CO2 making up most of it, creating a thick, heavy blanket of gas around the entire planet always. The pressure on a CO2 planet could be so incredibly high that it would crush anything that tried to land on its extremely hostile and dense atmosphere slowly. The temperature on these distant planets could be around 100 degrees C, making it one of the coldest places in the known universe, with extreme conditions prevailing everywhere. The discovery of CO2 planets could help us understand precisely how planets form and evolve differently over time within various celestial environments and atmospheres. If CO2 planets exist, they could be a fascinating new class of exoplanets that we haven't seen or studied before, opening new avenues for scientific research and exploration. The surface features on a CO2 planet would be shaped dramatically by the freezing and thawing of dry ice, creating complex seasonal patterns and geological formations slowly. There's a possibility that CO2 planets could have dry ice tides due to the gravitational pull of their moons. The concept of CO2 planets is still theoretical, but it opens up new possibilities for exoplanet research, offering fresh perspectives and novel investigative approaches. Scientists are using computer simulations to model what CO2 planets might visually look like and how they'd atmospherically behave in various distant planetary systems slowly. The discovery of a significant CO2 planet could be a game-changer for astrobiology and the search for life beyond Earth, revealing new possibilities and research opportunities immediately. CO2 planets might not be habitable, but they still could be fascinating targets for future advanced telescopes, revealing new atmospheric details and unexpected discoveries slowly. The study of CO2 planets and their atmospheres could help us understand the vast diversity of planetary environments and complex ecosystems in the universe more thoroughly nowadays always. If we found a CO2 planet with a complex ring system, it could be made entirely of dry ice particles, creating a shimmering, ethereal atmosphere around the frozen world. The exploration of CO2 planets could be a significant challenge for future space missions due to the extremely harsh environmental conditions and complex atmospheric interactions. CO2 planets might be more common than we think, and could be hiding in plain sight, perhaps even among nearby stars in the Milky Way galaxy, waiting to be discovered slowly. So if we ever find a massive CO2 planet, it'll be a great excuse to say, let's go see the beautiful snow formations, even if it's just dry ice formations outside.